Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video, My Sports Gematria. Today we're going to check out some college basketball on Saturday. I have my daily numbers on one side, Gregorian, date numerology, Hebrew. And then on this side is my game numbers. This is the away team, coach record, season record, and their conference record. In the middle here is the head-to-head record between the two teams. And right here is the home team, their record, their conference record, and the coach record. We're going to be looking at Wisconsin versus Penn State, and then we're also going to be looking at Villanova versus Seton Hall. All right, first things first. Today is the 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious, 1711. 1711 is the 58th triangular number. If Penn State loses this game, they become 5-8, like 58 for a season record. The number 58 sums to 115 and 61, and with a win, the Wisconsin coach would get his 115th win as he sits on 61 losses, 115-61. Interesting thing about this number here, 1711, 1,711. Let's pop this in here. Pop, pop, pop. We find that it sums to 139. This is the 13th game for the Penn State, and it's their 9th conference game, like 13-9. And if we want to get really weird with it, we go over here, look at Saturday, and on ESPN in the middle of the night, they have the over and under for the Wisconsin-Pennsylvania game, Wisconsin-Penn State game, over and under at 139. 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious, 1711, or 1,711, sums to 139. This is Penn State's 13th game, 9th month. Over and under, 139. Wisconsin is the current 14 seed. With the win, they can get their 14th win for the season. And as they get their 14th win for the season, they would also get their 40th head-to-head win against Penn State. The number 14 sums to 40. And what's the spread at? Wisconsin by 4, like 40. Wisconsin, if they win this game, they become 8-3 for a conference record like 83. The number 83 sums to 130. Today is January 30th, written 1/30. However, with that being said, these two teams play each other back to back. The next game, though, isn't going to be until Tuesday. And if Penn State wins this game today, they can go into Tuesday's game, a day leaving 216 left on the Hebrew Civil, with their coach having 216 wins. Now, they can lose Saturday, and then Penn State coach can get his 216th win on Tuesday. But the interesting thing is Tuesday is the second day of the second month on the February Gregorian calendar, 2/2, like 22. Penn State coach, if Penn State upsets Wisconsin on Saturday, he would sit on 253 losses. 253 is the 22nd triangular number, and then he would get his 216, and then he would head into this game on Tuesday, a day leaving 216 left on the Hebrew Civil, the second day of the second month on the Gregorian, like 22. So that's kind of interesting. And on top of that, date numerology for Saturday does have 36 date numerology, and Penn State would become 3-6 for a conference record with the win, like 36. And 36 has a square root of 6. So 6 times 6 equals 36. Well, if you take one more 6 further, 6 times 6 times 6 sums to 216. And Penn State can get their 6th win for the season and their 13th game of the season, 13 the 6th prime number. Wisconsin would sit on 13 wins for the season with a loss. This is their 11th conference game, and Penn State would get their 11th head-to-head win against Wisconsin. So there's definitely a narrative here for Penn State to upset. There's some interesting numbers. And then you also have the 58 here that you have to look out for. 58 sums to 115. Penn State would become 5-8. Coach would get his 115. It is the 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew. 1711 is the 58th triangular. And then we went into the whole thing. Sums to 13-9, 139. The over and under is set to 139. Yada, yada, yada. So this is an interesting matchup. You have a interesting choice to make. You're going to go with the Hebrew. You're going to go with the 14 seed. You're going to go with the 83, summoned to 130 on the Gregorian, January 30th. Or are you going to go with the 36 Gregorian date numerology? Future projection of 216. 6 times 6 equals 36. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. The next time these two teams play was on Tuesday, a day leaving 216 left on the Hebrew Civil. And then Penn State can get their 6 and 13. Yeah. Interesting choice here. If for whatever reason you want to know what my pick is, it's on my Patreon page in writing, underline, and italicized. Other than that, I should have given you enough information here for you to make your own pick, your own decision. If not, there's enough information here for you to build on top of. That way you can get to that point where you can make a pick. Next game, Villanova, Seton Hall. So we have the same thing. 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew Religious. This is Seton Hall's 17th game, 11th conference game, like 17-11. And what's interesting is 17 is the 7th prime number. Seton Hall can sit on 7 losses with a win as they tie the series 1-1 head-to-head against Villanova, like 11 in their 11th conference game. Seton Hall can pick up their 38th head-to-head win against Villanova. 38 sums to 58, and we talked about how 1711 is the 58 triangular number. 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew Religious. Seton Hall's 17th game, 11th conference game. And this one also has a nice little 6-6 thing into it as well. This is Villanova's coach's 666th game as a coach for Villanova, and in Villanova's 6th conference game, they can end their 6-game win streak. Today does have 72 date numerology on the Gregorian. 72 sums to 102. Villanova with a loss would become 10-2, like 102 for the season. On the flip side, though, Villanova can sweep Seton Hall and become 2-0 head-to-head against Seton Hall for the season with the win, as Villanova gets the 71st head-to-head win against Seton Hall. 71 is the 20th prime number. 71 also sums to 126, and this is Villanova's 12th game for the season, and it's their 6th conference game, like 126. Villanova would become 11-1 for a season record. With the win, 111 sums to 72, and today does have 72 date numerology on the Gregorian. So that's interesting that the same number, 72, can give us a Villanova win, or it can give us a Villanova loss, because Villanova with the win becomes 11-1, 101 sums to 72, or 72 sums to 102, and Villanova becomes 102. Villanova can get their 7th win in a row with the win today, and 7 sums to 20. And they would become 2-0 head-to-head against Seton Hall, like 20. They would get their 71st head-to-head win, 71 the 20 of the prime. 7 also sums to 65, and Seton Hall would become 6-5 for a conference record with the loss. So interesting numbers with this game as well. Both games have interesting numbers. If for whatever reason you want to know who I'm picking in these games, you have to join my Patreon. All my picks are in writing, underlined, and italicized. Other than that, I have given you ample information for you to make your own pick, your own decision. If not, you should have enough information here to build on top of and to add to so you can come up with your own final decision. Thanks, guys. Wish you best of luck.